I'm a man, I love to answer the question how. People say, I'm believing God. How? Well, how? I mean, when and where. I'm a how person, a when person, and a where person. That just makes sense to me. When people say, God's going to do this. When? If they tell me when, where? They tell me where, how? Either way you look at it, it's going to come back to those three things in your life. I'm believing God for my healing. When, where, how? Remember how people used to criticize years ago, not another how-to series? Remember that in the Christian religious world, which was a shot against word of faith people? Well, bless God, if you tell people how to do something, it gets done. Preaching, proclaiming, teaching, explaining. What you proclaim, you got to be able to explain. And what you explain, you ought to be able to proclaim it. So let's deal with that. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Now, how do we live out the will of God? Number one, write this down. Living out the will of God on the earth includes confession. Oh, I know that. Well, if you know that, how come it didn't work it? No, you believe that. You don't know that. When you know that, you never forget not to confess the word. When you believe and to confess the word, you're missing this thing at times. Living out the will of God on the earth includes confession. What you say is very important because it makes you what you are. You couldn't get married until you said something. When that priest or preacher, whoever you were married, do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife? You notice you didn't do this. You got to say something. If you go, no. Even if you can't speak, you're going to have to say something. It's a confession. You don't go, no, louder. You don't get saved unless you confess. You believe with your heart that he rose from the dead. So confession is vitally important. And I found that a lot of times, a lot of people have caused that to slip, including Jesse. Because I'll put myself in. At times, I didn't say what I was supposed to say. And when I said something, I shouldn't have said what I said. So living out the will of God on the earth includes confession. Why? Write this down. You must never lose sight of the importance of faith. You must never lose the sight of the importance of faith. How important that the basis of all we believe is faith. Faith gives you heavenly ways of thinking, talking, and living. You must never lose sight of the importance of faith. The confession engine of the word is where the power lies. You got to get to the point where you believe the unbelievable, where you know you can receive what is impossible. Living out the will of God on the earth.
Order your copy today.